Hello again. In this video, I want to discuss something I've been seeing a lot of discussion about, or not necessarily directly about, but I've been seeing lots of discussion about a variety of variations of this topic, and that is universal basic income. I have posted videos on other platforms about this, but this video I want to take a particular angle to it. And I want to direct this video towards my friends in the group U.B.I. Works. And what I want to suggest to them is that what they're doing and what I've seen being advocated through that platform, it's not going to work. I think they're missing the boat, and I don't like saying that because I support what they do, but it's also why I can't take an active role in supporting what they do, and why I just read their articles and like their posts. I don't engage in a lot of it because I feel that they are fighting a self-defeating battle, as many people who are fighting for universal basic income in Canada are. And at least, as the title suggests, at least not any way I have seen it proposed. Now, many people watching this video understand that I have political aspirations and that a basic income is the key feature to the platform that I would aspire to run with. And so please keep in mind that this is not a knock on basic income. It's just my perspective on where I'm seeing it going right now won't work, and a little bit of how I think that we can move it forward a little more effectively. So I'll start with why it won't work. And the main reason any proposal I've seen won't work is that none of it does anything to address the failure of the system. And if we try to interject a universal basic income into this system that is currently failing without making any corresponding changes within that system, it's not going to work. It's going to blow up. And when it does, it's going to set us back, because we will have more resistance, because people will be able to point and say, look, it didn't work. And I don't want that to happen, because we decided to pressure politicians to get a dysfunctional variation of a good program placed into a broken system that was destined to fail. A universal basic income is not able to deal with the things that created the need for the universal basic income to begin with. It can't do that. We cannot implement a universal basic income without addressing the fundamental flaws in our economic system that created the need for it. It's like trying to put a band-aid over a cut that we keep ripping open. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to work. Another reason is that most of the support I'm seeing for UBI right now is coming as a direct result of our government's pandemic response and as a direct result of people's economic situation throughout this pandemic. If and when our economy returns to normal, I have a feeling that support will quickly dissipate because we are using this as an emergency recovery plan and not as an idea to bring into the permanent fold long term to use as a preventative solution so that we don't have crashes instead of a solution to get us out of a crash. And another reason it won't work is especially after the pandemic's done, it's going to be a hard sell if we do not put any emphasis on productivity or self-maximization. We cannot allow a basic income to look like a government handout, especially if we're going to need the support from all angles if we're going to get it to work. We need to gain the support from the people that's socialism, that's bad, that's Venezuela. We can't do that if we set it up in a way that people can perceive it as a handout that their taxpayer money is funding and that their hard work is contributing to. We cannot allow it to be perceived like that, whether that's what it is or not. We cannot allow for that perception, otherwise it will get blocked and torn away the same way it got torn away from Ontario, where it was showing clear signs of it working. We know we have to take care of that perception thing, especially when one of the governments, the Conservatives, both at the provincial and federal level, are a very austerity-driven political party, and programs like that will be the first on the chopping block if there's any public perception within their ranks that it is a handout and not a productive way forward. Which brings us to, what can we do? I think we need to stop petitioning politicians and political parties that are always going to continue operating within the same broken system. We can't try and get political parties to say, okay, this is a popular idea now, let's try and make it work, but we're going to keep it operating in a system that's going to make it fail. We need to actually change the system. And in order to do that, we need to create the government. It's that simple. We understand that the system is broken. We understand that a lot of that has to do with unequal distribution of wealth and therefore an unequal distribution of power. We need to take control of that system. Otherwise, we're going to get a version of U.B.I. that only finds a way to cater to the people that already have the existing money and power. And that is not what it is intended to do. So we need to partner up with other agencies. And I'm pretty sure we could gather support from the Social Democrats of Canada. Now, I haven't really looked into it, but even the Communist Party of Canada, there would be members in there that we could get on board. And we can create a political platform on a national level and run as a national party using U.B.I. as the central focus. And if we can't do that, I'm sure between the membership of U.B.I. workers and the membership of the Social Democrats of Canada, that we can find enough motivated people that are sick of petitioning government for a wide variety of things over the years, that are willing to create their own platform and run as an independent with U.B.I. as their center focus. And we can unite and be a coalition of independents and push the idea of U.B.I. that way directly in the political world. But the only way that is, I think we're going to get any serious traction with it is to actually get people in the political world. And I don't think we can do that with the party structure we have now. I think there is too big of buy-in on within all of our political parties into a broken system. I believe that petitioning broken people within a broken system to put forward an idea and expect that idea not to come out broken as well is useless. We need to get good people, and any conversation I've seen on any of the platforms I've mentioned there, or in any of the groups I've mentioned, we seem to have a lot of good people out there and a lot of dedicated, smart, hardworking, intelligent people. And we can do that some way. We have enough numbers that we can become that political force. We don't have to sit outside the political force writing letters and throwing stones. We can actually get in and become that political force. And to help do that, we, like I said, we have many bright members. We need to put them in the spotlight, and we need to get them debating our detractors. Because if we can do that on a public level and do it respectfully and politely, do it the Canadian way, then that can only help us gain recognition and support. And finally, I can end off by saying that we need to create a bigger social media presence. Again, I'm not discrediting all the hard work and that many of us have already put in and bringing our social media presence up to where it is on Facebook and a variety of other platforms, but I think we can take it further. I think we can get on multiple outlets, and I think we can, similar to the to put it into American terms, they have an agency called Democracy at Work, where, granted, they don't mention a lot of U.B.I. They have a different focus, but particularly the program Economic Update, they have several different programs under the Democracy at Work umbrella, and particularly Economic Update, although they have it, Professor Richard Wolff, the gentleman that does it, has a different focus. He does a good job of taking his focus, looking at what's going on in the world, in America, and the world at that point in time, and saying, this is how our ideas could have made that better. This is how our ideas could have prevented that. This is why this happened. And explaining the case for his views. We can do that with a universal basic income. In fact, if we had that up and running, we could have been interviewing doctors and economists and getting the notion out there that a universal basic income would have been a good way to prevent the economic carnage that has come after COVID-19. And it could have been a good way to prevent the economic carnage that came after the last crash, and the crash before that, and the crash before that. And it can be used as the tool that allows Canada to mitigate the economic carnage of the next impending crash. Because that's one thing we know, that economies go up and economies go down. And that universal basic income is one of the best ways to mitigate the economic hell that people can go through when the economy is on a downturn. And we can focus on that. We can get interviews out with people that have experienced UBI, not only in Canada but in other countries, and we can get experts on these shows that say, yes, UBI does actually increase your odds of going to school. Yes, UBI does increase happiness. Yes, it does decrease mental issues, especially those related to poverty. Yes, the World Health Organization did declare that poverty is the #1 contributor to health issues. So yes, UBI can be a healthcare thing, and we can frame our ideas on UBI in ways that many people might not be accustomed to, and we can get it out there. But ultimately, we need to unite. We need to become the political force and not be the person coming to the political force. We need to become that force. And we need to get our ideas out there in a way that more people will be able to buy into. Otherwise, I don't think that what we are working towards doing is going to be able to work in the long term, because people have short memories. And when most of our interest in what we're doing has been spawned from this pandemic and through the economic hard times that this pandemic has brought upon lots of us, a lot of our support will be quickly forgotten when we get through this and the economy starts to rise again, as it always does. We need to get a firm, organized, constant reminder to the people that this idea of a universal basic income can work, and it can help people, no matter what variation it's in. Like I said, I have my own ideas of it, and it's nothing like anything I've seen on UBI Works, but that's just a self-righteous personal thing that I think my idea is better, and I can probably prove it if we sit down and talk too, but that's another thing. The bigger issues are what I've laid out there, I think, and we need to all work together, no matter what variation of basic income we want to see put into place. We need to work together and become better organized on many different levels if we are going to achieve that. And thank you. I hope we can pull this off. I hope we can get this going. Thanks.